Okay, welcome everybody to the council public meeting on Tuesday, November the 11th. And before we call this meeting to order, I will read a public hearing statement. If a person, public body, or specified person does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the City of Richmond Hill in respect of a proposed official plan amendment or zoning bylaw amendment, the person, public body, or specified person is not entitled to appeal a decision of the City Council to the Ontario Land Tribunal and may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. And the first item of business is adoption of the agenda. Who wants to be the lucky mover of that? Okay, Councillor Thompson, Councillor Tree, all those in favor? Opposed, that carries. Thank you. Disclosures of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. Scheduled business, we have request for comment zoning bylaw amendment application for 123 Lawrence Avenue and 186 and 192 Major Mackenzie. So we will hear from the folks at our staff outlining the details of the proposal, and then we will go to the applicant.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. The item tonight involves the zoning bylaw amendment application to permit a medium-density residential development consisting of 40 stacked townhouse dwelling units on the subject site, municipally known as 123 Lawrence Avenue and 186 and 192 Major Mackenzie Drive East. To begin, the subject site is located at the northeast corner of Major Mackenzie Drive East and Lawrence Avenue. The site has a total lot frontage of 41.15 meters along Major Mackenzie Drive East and a total combined lot area of 0.176 hectares. The site currently supports 3 single detached dwellings, which are proposed to be demolished to facilitate the new development. Surrounding land use consist of 1- and 2-story single detached dwellings to the north and east. To the west, there is a council-approved residential development for back-to-back townhouses that have not yet been constructed. To the south, across Major Mackenzie Drive East, there is another approved development for townhouses, also not yet constructed. The subject site is designated local mixed-use corridor in accordance with city's official plan. This designation permits a limited mix of uses and activities in a compact, pedestrian-oriented built form, including medium-density residential uses such as stacked townhouses. The subject site is also located within the Village Core neighborhood, which is subject to the council-approved Village Core neighborhood design guidelines. The guidelines provide direction to enhance the built and landscape heritage through new development, while permitting development to respond appropriately to the current and future needs of residents. In terms of zoning, the site is currently zoned residential multiple third density RM3 zone under zoning bylaw 66-71 as amended. The RM3 zone permits apartments and certain recreational, institutional, and public uses, but does not permit townhouses. Under the city's comprehensive zoning bylaw 93-25, the site is zoned local mixed-use corridor, LMU-COR zone, which permits low-rise apartments, townhouses, and a range of non-residential uses. The applicants are seeking council's approval to permit a medium-density residential development. The proposal includes 3 distinct 4-story townhouse blocks, one fronting onto Major Mackenzie Drive East, and the other 2 located toward the rear of the site. A private amenity area is proposed at the center of the site. Vehicle access would be provided from Lawrence Avenue via a 2-way private driveway, and parking would be accommodated in a partially below-grade parking area. The applicant seeks to rezone the site from RM3 zone to residential multiple second density RM2 zone under bylaw 66-71 as amended, with site-specific development standards to facilitate the proposed development. It also seeks to amend the LMU-COR zone under the city's comprehensive zoning bylaw 93-25 to introduce site-specific standards to permit the proposal. So staff have circulated the application to internal departments and external agencies for review and comment. The purpose of the report is to provide council and the public with an overview of the applicant's development proposal and has been structured for information purposes only, with the recommendation that all comments be referred back to staff for further consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And for the applicant is Merv Koldkak. I probably didn't say the last name right?
Sorry, it's both.
Oh, okay. Anyway, thank you. Welcome. You got 5 minutes to address council.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, Chair, members of council, and members of the public. My name is Merve Kolchak, and I'm a planner with the Big Leary Group. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant to delegate the zoning bylaw amendment application for 123 Lawrence Avenue and 186 and 192 Major Mackenzie Drive. I don't want to repeat everything that Darren said, so I'll be brief in the introduction here. Okay, so the subject site is approximately 0.43 acres in size and consists of 3 separate parcels. And it's located north of Major Mackenzie, east of Lawrence Avenue, and just west of Pugsy Avenue. And at present, just like Darren mentioned, it contains of 3 single detached dwellings, each with vehicular access from Major Mackenzie Drive. And the surrounding area consists primarily of low-rise and mid-rise residential development with some commercial uses nearby. Of particular interest, approximately 450 meters to the east is Richmond Hill GO Station, and directly west is an approved townhouse development, and south, as mentioned by Darren. From a policy perspective, Darren covered everything. I just want to add that we are identified within a protected major transit station area, and all the designations and zones permit the stacked townhouse built form other than RM3, which will be superseded by bylaw 9325 once it is in effect. Okay. So with regards to the proposed development, we are proposing 3 4-story stacked townhouse blocks as shown as block building A, B, and C on the slide, containing 40 residential units and 1 level of partially underground parking. The proposal has a resulting floor space index of approximately 1.39 after the road widening, which is in compliance with the OP policy as well as the zoning provisions in the new bylaw. Each unit will have a separate entrance from the grade, and additional features include the road widening along Major Mackenzie, which is about 4.88 meters, and also a site triangle 10 meters by 10 meters at the intersection. A total of 21 parking spaces are provided. With regards to bicycle parking, a total of 39 is provided, of which 6 are accessible to the public along Lawrence Avenue. With regards to vehicular access, the vehicular access to the site is, and underground parking area is located within the northern portion of the site, accessible via Lawrence Avenue. And loading and waste pickup is located at the northeast corner of the site, accessible via Lawrence Avenue. Also, all waste will be stored in the underground garage, and it'll be picked up on pickup day. With regards to outdoor amenity, this colored landscape plan provides a view of the outdoor amenity space. We're providing a total of 119 square meters, which exceeds industry standards for outdoor amenity requirements by providing at a rate of 3 square meters per unit. The outdoor amenity is centrally located between the proposed townhouse blocks and consists of shaded structures like trellises, raised planters, benches, group tables, and seatings. Okay, this colored rendering illustrates views looking north from Major Mackenzie Drive. This view shows development looking northeast from Lawrence Avenue. With regards to the planning applications, in order to facilitate the proposed development, we're requiring 2 zoning bylaw amendments. One to the in effect bylaw, like Darren mentioned, bylaw 6671, to rezone from RM3 to RM2 to permit stacked townhouses with site-specific exceptions, and another one to the recently approved but under appeal bylaw 9325 for minor site-specific exceptions. This evening, we are here to receive comments from council and members of the public. We will also receive feedback from city departments and agencies. Once all comments are received, project team will work collaboratively with the city to address any comments. I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, I don't think we have any other delegates today in the audience or registered online, so we'll get this straight to council. This is located in Ward 2, so Councillor Thompson, you'd like to move a motion to refer all comments back to staff?
Yes, I would. Thank you very much. Through you, the Mayor, I would absolutely like to do that. I have had the opportunity to actually meet with the applicant in advance of this coming forward this evening and was able to discuss this application in a little more detail. I've also had the opportunity to speak with staff as well. And my comments are really that I do like the look of the proposal. I do like, that it is townhouse. I think that complements what is going on in the neighborhood, particularly with the village core right there. And that, yes, you have a reference to the very next block to the west doing something quite similar. My only real comments were that it was the limited options, that we're only talking about studio and one bedroom throughout the entire complex. And my other comment was actually, I felt it was too dense for the size of the property. But otherwise, I certainly like the look and feel that they're bringing forward. So those are my comments.
Okay, thank you. I need a seconder, Regional Local Councillor Deputy Mayor Chan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our staff as well as the applicant's agent for the presentation. Thank you. And I will be happy to second the motion, but also with my comments. I concur with the moving councillor comment because, but certainly, I'm sure the applicant and their marketing arm would look at what the market could bear. Initially, my first reaction is less than 400 square feet. Yeah, so something not so much for myself or maybe our staff to think about, but also in terms of, as I'm thinking of who would be the potential people moving in there. That's not for me to or us to comment, but it's just I want to bring it up. But relating to that, and the staff did comment on the page 7 is still yet to receive, I guess, the full submission in terms of how the total number of units would meet our minimum requirement for the affordable housing. Presumably, those smaller units would be, hopefully, be meeting some of the what we're trying to get at in terms of affordable housing units. Notwithstanding more units are needed, but more does not necessarily equal to more small units. That's my comment. And the other one is that on page 8, our staff also raised, while there's no minimum requirement for parking, and I do appreciate there's 21, I believe, is the one, for the residents or future residents there. There's no parking space, I guess, identified at this point in time for visitors. Now, ideally, everybody ride the bicycle or take the Major Mac public transit there, but I think there's something to consider. Realistically, for potentially visitor to those units who might need parking space and who might not be riding a bicycle, nor would they be taking public transit. Maybe the applicant can work out some deal with some public transportation or private transportation, but otherwise, I think that's something that could be considered. I wonder, to the extent that traffic impact study if possible, maybe through Mr. Chair to the staff. The submission as a part of documents by the applicant does contain the traffic impact study. Does it touches on, through Mr. Chair to staff, the traffic impact study might have say something about if no visitor parking space is provided, how or whether it might be impacting in any way, form, or shape of traffic. For you, Mr. Chair.
Through the chair to Councillor Chan, with the proposal being located in a PMTSA, it really is irrespective. The city cannot require minimum parking spaces for the development, notwithstanding it may or may not have an impact. So I don't know the particulars of the traffic impact study that was submitted, but we don't, the applicant is providing parking even irrespective of whether they're required to or not. So the provision of visitor parking would also apply in that instance where they can provide it, but they're not required to.
Thank you. I don't have any further comments at this point in time, but I'm happy to second the motion to have all comments back to staff. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Tree.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, staff, to present this report as well. I do have a few questions. First one, I think I call the Deputy Mayor's concern. The first one is the affordabilities here. So this, if I read the report correctly, there are 30 very tiny one-bedroom townhouse here. So any can mention that affordability, 30 of them based on only 3 dwelling here is really a compact. I was wondering, so from the proposal perspective, any consideration for the affordability?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So typically we look for the diversification of housing units with a hope that the family-sized units will be provided to help achieve that diversification and affordability for housing options. Alternatively, sometimes applicants are able to satisfy the housing affordability requirements through the provision of smaller units, which cost intrinsically less. Mm-hmm. So they have submitted a housing affordability template, and we are currently reviewing that to see and where are the opportunities to meet the city's objectives in that regard.
Okay, thank you so much. I haven't seen the details yet, but for me, it's a townhouse 4 stories tall with only 1 bedroom. For me, I haven't seen the design yet, so I'm just wondering if this is possible. So that's 4 stories and only 1 bedroom.
Through the chair to Councillor Tree, they're stacked townhouses, so they're actually not the entirety of the unit is not is not 4 stories. So you'll have multiple units within the 4-story.
Okay, I got it. Stacked. Okay, got it. So my next question is because I received an email regarding to traffic. So some residents are looking for signals around that corner, Church Street and Metromac. So I know this is not on the Church Street, but it's really close to that street. So for now, whenever you're driving along the Church Street or Lawrence, whenever you turn east or west side, it's going to be a very challenge. You're going to wait for quite a long time. So any things from York Region, seeing the traffic can be just, I don't know what's the long term here, just seeing, I don't think adding 30 units will be a big challenge for entire street, but just wondering, any things from traffic perspective, there is a warning or there is attention bring up to the city council members to consider?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree, the Region of York has been circulated the application, and we can report back on the comments provided there too. But as you're aware, in order to do signalization on Major Mac, certain thresholds that warrant a signalization would have to be met. So this development on its own may not necessarily meet the threshold, but if other developments continue to develop along Major Mac, that may change in the future. We'll report back on the Region of York comments in this regard as part of the future recommendation report.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to watch in the email as well because York Region Transit has been engaged for the Church Street the signal as well. So I'll looking for that feedback too. Thank you so much. I don't have further questions.
Okay, Councillor Silovitz. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Counselor Silvitz, hold on one second. I actually have Counselor Davidson next. I skipped right over you and my sincere apologies.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. I find, my comments are that I find 350 square feet incredibly small, and 550 with a one bedroom is also incredibly small. And I just want to make the comment that we've seen in the paper over the last few months that some of the bigger projects in Toronto, for example, or out at the QEW have been canceled because these very small units are not selling. So through you, Mr. Chair, to staff, if that's the case, is there, in this kind of example, is there opportunity for the applicant to pivot and make larger units should they discover that 350 square feet isn't desirable?
Through the chair to Councillor Davidson, absolutely. We typically don't govern a minimum dwelling unit size. So that gives the flexibility for a proponent to respond to the market. So they won't be capped at the density reflects the gross floor area relative to the lot size. So in terms of units, they have the flexibility to move that unit count around, and if they need to lessen their units and make the units larger, that's something that they can explore.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. The one conceptual rendering, I don't see a lot of public area for the folks that live here to sort of lounge. Is there no requirement for how much recreational space or public space there is for something like this?
Through the chair to Councillor Davidson. So we typically have a minimum outdoor amenity area requirement, I believe, of 50 square meters per unit. But in addition to that, there's a central outdoor amenity corridor provided for the residents on site. So it's strictly for their use. So that is being counted towards the amenity area for the proposed development.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. Chair, where are they going to store their snow?
Through the chair to Councillor Davidson, we will definitely take a look. That's usually a site plan detail that will ensure that we will ensure to have covered off.
Thank you. Through Mr. Chair, on the positive side, I think these are walk-ups, right? They don't have elevator. I'm super excited about this idea coming to Richmond Hill. I lived in a 4-story walk-up and I loved it. And I think it's a great model to start coming to Richmond Hill in terms of don't need a big elevator. You can walk to your place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Silvitz.
Sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Chair. The one thing, well, there's a couple of things that I'm concerned about. As the chair of the Accessibility Advisory Committee, these are not accessible, and Councillor Davidson just pointed to that. So only the ground level units would be accessible. Secondly, again, as the chair of the AAC, we would require disabled parking to be on site. So I would urge the applicant to please continue discussions with our staff and the local councillor, Councillor Thompson, and commit to ensuring that there are disabled parking spots there, even if there's going to be no visitor parking spots. I think it's it's essential, even though we have no specific jurisdiction over that. So to the applicant, please look into that. It's very, very important. And as for the size of the smaller units, below 600 square feet, I'm very concerned about that, because affordability is not only for the single person. Affordability is very much so for families. So those are 2 points that concern me greatly. And while I understand that these are walk-ups and elevators are not considered in this particular iteration, that's all well and good. But again, there is a huge concern here that they are not accessible. So perhaps, there could be far more discussions about this. And once again, if the applicant can commit to trying to cover that, I think that it would be a very, very good thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I have a few comments. I'll start off by saying I have to say I really like this this general concept. It's a very human-sized development that you're talking about. I think it's actually pretty appropriate for the size of land that you have available to you. It's in a really great location. It's not very far away from Yonge Street. It's not very far away from the GO line, and it. Frankly, I mean, being that it's on Major Mackenzie, it's on a future transit corridor as well. So I think I can see this unit or this development being a very livable place. And the fact that there's no specific parking requirement here, I am concerned about that in the near term, because I think, you are going to have a parking shortage almost for sure if you're only providing the number of parking spaces that you are. But I also recognize that we don't have the legislative power to compel more parking. And frankly, we've talked a little bit about affordability here. If we were adding more parking, we are going to be adding significantly to the cost of this unit for whoever's going to buy it. So I think we can make this work. But the second thing that we talked about was unit size. And I have to be honest, I'm not all that fussed about this. I think having larger units than what you're proposing probably makes sense. I think the unit size that you have right now might be problematic from a marketing point of view, to be honest, but I'm not an expert in that field by any stretch. But I think, overall, we do need to be looking at larger unit sizes in Richmond Hill. And I know that that's a policy, and that's why staff have made that recommendation. And I understand that, and I don't not support it. But I also think that for a small development like this, small in the grand scheme of things, having some smaller units all in one building, be able to, there may be something that's an opportunity there to market it to a particular demographic, maybe younger people, older people, maybe, people who are single. I think there are possibilities here. And I think while we look at maybe increasing the unit sizes a little bit overall, but maybe also add a few larger units in the development, I'm okay with the larger than normal number of smaller units. I think there's some possibilities there. And then the third thing I just wanted to talk about is affordability. I mean, we've been down this road for many years in Richmond Hill and other places in the Greater Toronto Area about affordability. And I think I'm expecting that these units have some potential here to be relatively affordable compared to some of the other types of housing that we're going to be seeing built in Richmond Hill. So that's going to be something that's really important to me. I'm as I said earlier, I do like the concept, but if the concept ultimately translates to affordability and a unit size that's realistic for at least a portion of the people that need it, I would be very, very happy to see that. So anyway, it looks like you're on the right track. I mean, the comments back from staff, obviously there's still work to do, but I think we've got some positive direction that we're looking at right now. The only thing I have to be honest, I have to ask this, whether or not I get an answer is up to you, but I would be very interested to know whether you're actually going to build this or whether this is something that is going to be an investment that we're going to flip and not ever see it built. Because quite honestly, we need this built, and we need this built now. So the faster you can get it approved and then built, that's the important part to me. This is of no value to me as the mayor if it's just going to be a concept. It really does need to take shape and be built so people can live in it. So that would be the only other thing I would ask, that if we're rushing to get this approved for you, then I would really like it, if at all possible, if you could rush to get it built for us. That would be very helpful. So those would be my comments. Unless there's anything else that folks want to say on council, I think we're good. So I need we need to vote on putting all the comments back to staff. Okay, that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And I need a motion now to adjourn. Okay, Counselor Davidson, put her hand up really fast. And Counselor Tree, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries.